Hello, hello, hello. Hey, this is Rosa. Hopefully, your favorite real estate broker, my friends. All right, it is 4th of July weekend. Almost. Right now it's Friday at about 11 o'clock, but we have a lot of information to go over. There is a lot of real estate news here for you. And so, what I want to do here today is I want to have our real estate forum. I want to be able to talk about the questions that you have. So, um, Rob Rosa's Friday Real Estate Forum. Let's talk about the things that you want to go over. But I do have some really interesting information for you today as far as what's going on with the market. Is the market cooling down? Now I'm going to throw you a lot of info because the latest numbers I have are United States national information, and in some ways it does reflect what's going on here in Connecticut, and in some ways it doesn't. So we're going to talk about those things, and of course, any kind of comments that you have, anything that you want to discuss, you let me know. But let's talk about what's going on. Hey, Jaja, thank you so much for watching here. So we know that this year, 2023, started out with signs showing that the Federal Reserve's inflation fighting tactic, meaning interest rates, making them go up, was a little bit effective in calming down this pandemic housing market nationally. Did it calm things down in Connecticut, especially central Connecticut? Maybe not as much because we still have quite a few more buyers than we do homes for sale. I mean, that whole thing that you've heard more than once about inventory shortage. Yes, my friends, it is true. However, nationally speaking, for the first time in 11 years, home prices dropped year to year or year over year in February as mortgage rates more than doubled following the Fed's consecutive interest rate hikes. So that really hurt a lot of people. That hurt a lot of people as far as affordability because, there were some buyers that said, hey, listen, maybe I should wait, even though that's not always the best case, right? But for some people, they felt that waiting would be the best for them right now. So the median price of a home, right? That middle price of a home increased, however, month to month for the second consecutive month in March nationwide. And it increased for a third month in a row in April to $393, $300. Okay, so this is a little bit of interesting information, and this was just actually released about 3 weeks ago as far as this information. And in fact, April's median home price increased again to 400 over 400,000, 401,700. So these median income prices, they, according to the National Association of Realtors, right, they're still going up. And so one factor that's behind these strengthening home prices and the decrease in sales volume. So you might be like, oh, Rob, less houses are selling. Well, are less houses selling because people don't want to buy? Absolutely not, my friends. The only reason why there's less houses selling is because we don't have enough homes for sale. I have quite a few more buyers than I do sellers. Okay. And so, in fact, the decrease in sales volume, like less number of sales, is down 23% year over year. Okay. And of course, the main reason, and I know you might get sick and tired of hearing about it, but we need to find a way to open things up. We need to find a way to bounce back. We need to find a way to show people, hey, listen, don't necessarily put your life on hold because of an interest rate. I met somebody, I was telling my team this morning, I'm like, oh, yeah, I met somebody in Dunkin' Donuts. And they said that they were interested in selling, but they didn't want to lose their 3% interest rate for a 6% interest rate on their mortgage. And I said to that person, well, are you happy living in that home? Now, of course, who likes to be asked that question? Maybe that wasn't the smartest moment for Rob Rosa at that time, because who likes to be asked, are you happy? However, I could see this person's mind was thinking about it. Well, am I happy in this home? I want to sell. He actually wanted to go to North Carolina, but he's worried about an interest rate. Well, there are a lot of pros and cons, and we could talk about some of these. And then please feel free to give me your comments. You can text me, you can put them in this DM here right now, this direct messaging tool. And ask me these questions, because we can discuss these here today as what those pros and cons are. But we know that what's happening is that these home sales, they're up and they're down and they're cyclical, right? But the combination of whether it's jobs, whether it's limited inventory, whether it's these fluctuating mortgage rates over the last several months, it's been up and down. And does anybody really even know where is the market going? Where are home prices headed? Well, my friend, you know what they say about opinions. So everybody's got an opinion. We don't necessarily have to go down that road, but let's talk about it. Let's discuss it. And if you want to share your opinion, hey, I'm open to it. We don't have to have some big crazy debate. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. We're all trying to act like Nostradamus, right? We're all trying to tell the future of what's going to happen. Okay. So let's talk about it from an informed standpoint. Where are home prices headed? Where? So generally speaking, high mortgage rates, they're going to prompt home prices usually to trend downward. Usually, right? However, hey, Mark, thank you so much for joining us. We know that housing supply remains very, very restricted. There's not a lot. There's very little uptick, at least in central Connecticut. I mean, drive around central Connecticut. Do you see a lot of new homes being built? You might be able to go to other parts of the country, whether it's Florida or Texas or somewhere else that I don't know about, and see, well, Rob, there's all kinds of construction here everywhere, right? So that will, in that local area, that will put a pressure either upward or downward on prices. Here in central Connecticut, we don't see all kinds of new homes coming on the market. And this is the same dynamic that has made buyers have to compete and keep bidding prices up, right? Affordability trends, that's a big one. So affordability trends in the next coming months, right, is of course is going to depend on mortgage rates and the supply and demand dynamics. Maybe we're going to talk about home appreciation. So like right now, if you have a chance to take out that equity and you want to go do something with that money that's going to be useful and helpful to you and your family, it might be a great idea. It might be time to downsize, take out that equity and downsize. It might be time to take out that equity and buy a second home or an investment property. And so this is all very, very much of a local type of situation, right? And we know that many home buyers, of course, they're in a tough spot. I have home buyers, which we have closings every week, thank God, right? Because we're helping people every week. But I also have home buyers very, very straightforwardly that they're anxious. They're not happy. They're like, Rob, it's been hard. Yes, it's been hard, my friend. And there's not a lot out there, but we're out there day in and day out trying to talk with people, right? So, if you're able, like I said, to take some of that equity, maybe you're able to put on more money down, right? And you're able to qualify for purchases, right? In fact, we know the wonderful state of Connecticut. They've come out during this period, and I'm going to say this publicly, during this period, when it's so hard to find a house to buy, they're coming out with programs, no money down, $50,000, grant money. Well, my friends here in Hartford, Connecticut, up at the state capitol, how about we come up with a program to help sellers, to give some positive reinforcement for people to put their home on the market so they don't feel like they're the ones who are going to be necessarily losing out, because there are some sellers that, yeah, of course they're going to make some money on the sale of their home, depending on when they bought it and for how much they bought it. But where are they going to move? And that's what everybody keeps saying. Rob, where can I move to? And usually the easiest solution is out of state. And that's a sad thing to say. So I'm putting that out there publicly. Who knows who's going to hear it? Who knows who's going to get mad at me? But I'm just speaking the straight out truth. Because you know what? We've seen that there's buyers and there's sellers. They're more likely to act when they get the help and support that we need to give them. Okay. So to those home buyers, don't be discouraged. Get pre-approved. Let's keep on looking. For those home sellers, go with what's going to ultimately make you move on in your life so that you can get to where you want to be. Because we can tell you that most likely, remember the good old days where there was a seasonality to the marketplace? Well, most likely that seasonality is going to be gone for a little bit. There's not going to be most likely a return to that typical seasonality in the market, because number one, there's a lot of uncertainty in the economy, right? And so home buyers, they're still looking for a home. They don't care whether it's spring, summer, fall, or winter. They need a home, right? And they understand that they have these programs available. They're going to try to take advantage of them, right? So these prospective buyers, they're watching the home programs that are available as far as, from the grant money. They're watching the interest rates closely, right? And as soon as they see maybe a little dip in the interest rates, or as soon as they see a home that's actually available, they're going to jump on it. So that seasonality might not necessarily be there. Inventory. Yes. And please put out there your questions. Put out there your comments. I'm here for you, right? Well, what about those home sellers? Let's talk about some of them. Are we expecting inventory to remain low this year and maybe even out to next spring? I think yes, right? We should expect to see more and more sellers who maybe were even on the sidelines to list their home for sale this summer and into the fall. Well, you know what? They might be discouraged because some of the moves that have been made with these interest rates, right? But some people, thank God for this, right? And we're here to help them, have to move. Some of them are smart enough to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to take my equity and I'm going to decide to move for that bigger or smaller home. Or I'm going to change jobs and I want to be closer to where I work, or be in a different neighborhoods, right? Different neighborhood, despite what these interest rates look like, right? Maybe there's going to be some builders that are out there like, hey, now's the time to make a move and build on some of these lots, right? But, as long as possibly we don't have a really sharp spike in mortgage rates, like up to like 9%, most likely we will still have those typical sellers. But of course, right now, there's still not as many of them. Okay. So again, any kind of comments, any kind of questions that you have here, here's the Friday Forum for real estate with Rob, Rosa, hopefully your favorite real estate broker. And we're here to talk, right? We're here to discuss things. Lending conditions, like we have talked about, have tightened. Not a lot has changed as far as I know with building construction loans. They're pretty still expensive for builders. And, some of these smaller builders, they're still having a hard time. All right. So basically, what I do want to put out there is we put out there a lot of different scenarios. And I would tell you from my heart, from a caring heart, from a trusting heart, is to just try to keep moving forward every day. If you need help, you have questions, you're not sure what to do, nationwide, give me a call, right? I put my phone number in there. You can call me, you can text me. I put my email address. You can check me out at smartreadvice.com. And I'm going to help you. I can help you nationwide, whether it's with putting you in touch with the right scenario, the right agent. We could talk about credit repair if that's something you need to do. We could talk about real estate classes here in Connecticut if that's something that you're interested in. And so that's Rob Rosa here for you to help you every step of the way. Once again, thank you so much for listening in on our forum today, discussing what's going on, where the market is heading, what's going on with the Fed. Was it effective ultimately in cooling the housing market here in central Connecticut? I would probably say maybe not so much. And that's everything I got for you today. So God bless you. Have a very happy and safe 4th of July weekend. And this is Rob Rosa, hopefully your favorite real estate broker, signing out, my friend. We'll talk to you soon.